Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for that quick flick through of the finished journal. Now this journal is actually sold now, I'm afraid, but I did promise that I would do a flip through of it. So yep, it's a ring bound journal. It's on the large rings. Now the ring bound journals I've talked about before, they are my favourite journals to make, because I love that you can be so extravagant with all of your bits and bobs that you put in them, and you really don't have to restrain yourself when it comes to the decorative bits and bobs, because you can just they can just expand on the rings. So yes, it is bound with some sari silk and lace. So what I did, I just took the sari silk and the lace, and then I just literally knotted it in the middle there to join the two bits together, and they just tie round. So, if you wanted to change the closure, then you could really. On the rings, you've just got a little bit of lace here hanging, which looks really pretty. Now the cover, I have done a video of this, but I don't think it's gone up yet. But the cover has got an image from a vintage book page, and then all sorts of other yummy goodies. So you've got lots of lace and trims and things, you've got some pearly diamante bits and all sorts of things, and then you've got this lovely latch. And what I thought was quite nice to do on this, it's not actually anything to do with the closure. I'm just going to bring it up closer for you. It's not anything to do with the closure, but I've just popped it on there, and then I tied a bow around it with the sari silk, which it is actually an opening latch, if you see what I mean. So that bow is actually holding that latch, closed anyway. So it is serving a purpose. And then I've just popped on one of my little stamp charms and a tassel there on a bulb pin. So I just love how that looks. Really nice and interactive, but it's not actually kind of functional. So, if you wanted to move like this anywhere else, you could. If you wanted to take the sari silk off and replace it with some other sort of bow or something, you could. But yeah, just very, very cute, I think. So inside the journal, now there's loads and loads of vintage ephemera in this journal, so yeah, it's quite an exciting one. So on here, this is one of those gorgeous pockets by Rachel over at Roxy Creations. She made these as one of her Roxy's weekly challenge, and then we have made them in videos. So it's one of those. So you've got multiple pockets in here, so loads and loads of stuffing space. So I've put a large tag into the big pocket, into the tuck spot at the back. Sorry, I can't remember where I've put things. I then have a photograph. Now I'm not sure what order I've put everything in, but I then had a printable photograph. So it's not an actual original, it's the printable photograph. Then I've got some genuine vintage ephemera. So I've got this gorgeous piece here, which has got sort of the rust marks and things from the original pin, which I just absolutely love. That just goes into here. No, that might go into there. See, couldn't remember where I've taken things. And then you've got a genuine vintage letter dated 1913. It's really lovely, and I just literally stapled on a couple of extra pieces. So these pieces here are just from my documents collection, and this one here also is from my documents collection, but printed onto vellum. And I just took little portions of those and just stapled that onto the letter, but it works really nicely. The holes punched in the top, that was how the letter was when I acquired it. So yeah, I haven't punched those in or anything, but I mean, I guess to be honest, you could put some ribbon or something in those if you wanted, but I've just left it. So that then tucks into here. We have got another pocket here. I don't know whether I've put the things in the wrong places, but anyway, so you could also put something into this front belly band portion as well. Then here, this is one of those which we made on video, and they were these lovely journal card spot things with the brads. So you've got journal space here, you've got journal space here, you've got this gorgeous vellum or tracing paper printable, which is attached with a brad. You've got some original vintage postage stamps, and then you've got some of my number tabs. This is my William Morris papers, which just love the look of that, and then some pearly pearls there, flat back pearls. And then what I've done is I've literally just covered the back. So when I made these, I think I was originally intending for this to be painted or something on the back, and then you would obviously use it as a journal card. But what I've done instead, I've covered it with some paper and then some sari silk down here, and then I just formed a little pocket here. So we've just got a paper clip, which then you've got this gorgeous, this is one of my button card printables, and this is from my London collection papers. And I just put that onto the button card. Works just lovely, doesn't it? And then this is some vintage ephemera, and I've just you know, glued that onto the button card to make it like a little bit more interesting. I love the way we've got the script there. And then you've just got this tuck-in piece, which I've got these in the craft papers, which are just on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website. So that just tucks in like that, and then I've folded them over like that, and then just attach them, or actually I think that probably went over that way, attach them with the paper clip, and that just then is a kind of nifty pocket, really. You could still put something in behind it, but yeah, just an extra kind of page there in the journal. This page here, it's got a torn pocket. Again, we've made these during the mass making sessions. And then you've got some sari silk, loads of lace and things, some pearly trim and things like that. And then this here is, again, it's another piece from the London collection, the Victorian London collection papers. And yeah, there's a collage page with all kind of little images of, you know, images of London, sketches of London in the Victorian era. And I've just cut one of those out and just inked it up. It just works perfectly then as a journal card. So that just goes into there like that. And then here we've also got, again, some vintage ephemera, and that's just, I'm not even too sure what that is. Oh, it's a receipt. It's a receipt, look. And that just literally just slots in to the side there, like that. One of my circle printables, just printed onto acetate, and then I've just stapled that on there. And then here, this is one of those pockets which we made recently in a mass making, that are the reinforced vellum pockets. In my case, it's tracing paper, but you know, you could use tracing paper or vellum. And it was inspired by Wendy over at Wendy's Journal Adventures. And I think we actually decorated this one together on the video. So this is the only splash of colour in this whole journal. The rest of it is all predominantly, you know, blue and brown and cream. But this page here, I just thought it was quite fun to have a splash of colour. I always remember the lovely Laurie over at Girl on a Ridge. And this was years ago. She did a journal, and it was all kind of, you know, neutrally colours. And then she just had one page with a splash of blue. Well, not a splash of blue, but quite blue. And it just really looked amazing, you know, because the whole journal was, you know, one colour. And then it just had this blue page, and it just looked so lovely. And yeah, it just sticks in my mind to this day how, you know, how much I loved that page. And the lovely Laurie, she is on my design team again. So obviously my design team had kind of lapsed, but she was a member previously, and she's a member again. So do go over and check out her channel. She does absolutely gorgeous work. So, and she's such a lovely lady. So then I've just got some vintage ephemera again in here. This is dated 1930, and again, it's, I couldn't even tell you what this is, to be honest. Maybe it's an order or something. Oh, it's just like a you know, enclosure. What do you call those things? I don't know what you'd call them. Anyway, just saying what's in the order. So that's that. Then here we've got this gorgeous piece which has been made from an envelope. Absolutely love this. Now, I made this a long time ago and I've been hoarding it. So I'm surprised I could even bring myself to use it now, if I'm truthful. But we've got this gorgeous image which was from one of those vintage London news newspapers. And I just really, really love that image. And then tucked in the side, again, some more genuine vintage ephemera. And that's just stapled on, forming a little clustery piece. And again, some more of those craft papers. Oops. And then one of my vintage labels there at the top, and some lace. It's just been stapled together, but isn't that just gorgeous? Absolutely love it. So that just tucks into that side, and then obviously you fold this out, you've got journaling space in here, and then tucked into this side there's, oh no, I can't get it. Oh, what's wrong with me? There's a little journal card pull out, and that's, again, that's just from my architecture postcards. and I've printed it onto tracing paper, and then I've just put it onto book page and just stitched around it and put some coffee dyed paper on the back. So that's that one. And then you've just got some sari silk here down at the bottom. So yeah, just a really pretty page. And then this is acting like a tuck spot. So you've got a couple of things tucked in there. This is just from my Rose Park printables, and then again another genuine piece of ephemera. So there's a ton of genuine ephemera in this, which is absolutely gorgeous. Again, not even going to hazard a guess at what this is, to be honest, but anyway, looks like list of things. And then again, this has got that rusty mark from the original paperclip, which I just absolutely love. And then here, this is another one of those pieces from my Victorian London papers, which again, I've just taken a portion from the collage type page and I've cut it out and used that as a pocket. Isn't that lovely? And then these are some more of those craft papers. I mean, these are really, really handy to have on hand because they just make, you know, perfect things to tuck into pockets and things. So, oops, I'm now struggling to get that back in. Oh, I could do with being closer to the journal, but I don't want to get my head into the camera. So, well, perhaps what I should do is fold it down another time so it's a bit sturdier. Oh, now it's the wrong way round. Oh, I didn't really think about that properly, did I? There we go. That's better. And then this here, again, you can just tuck that in like that and then tuck that all behind there. And then turning the page over, we've got here another piece which I've tied this around with some sari silk. Now, there's only a little tiny amount there to be able to tie it up, so you've got to be quite careful when you're doing it. But you've got journal space here. There's a belly band in the front where I've just put in a couple of pieces. This again is from my labels, and this was from one of my glue book favorites pieces. So that just goes there, one of my number tabs, and then this just ties up, whoops, ties up at the front. Okay, and then, oops, I've stuck that down like a tuck spot. So you've got then, oh, I can't seem to tie this into a bow. What is wrong with me? Oh, it's because I just painted my nails just before doing the video and I'm trying not to scrape them really, but anyway, they're probably looking a shocking mess now. Right, so we've got a sari silk bow up the top. This is one of my printables from my Fun Photos kit. Again, this is a printable from my Vintage Documents collection papers, and this obviously is the damask papers. All the background pages, by the way, sorry, I did forget to say that. They're just the damask pages, and, you know, from my Rich Damask collection. And they have just been printed onto thicker paper and then folded over and then just stitched around. So that's how I formed the base of my pages. And then in here, we've got a gorgeous sheet from a vintage book with a lovely image. And then on the back, all that journaling space. And it's all vintage, all just yummy, feels lovely. And yeah, just really, really nice. So that just tucks into there. And then on the facing page, we've got one of those envelope pockets, which again, we've made in a mass making with 3 pockets here. So in the top one, that's just a little postcard from my Victorian Beauties printables. So that just goes in there. One of my number tabs, one of my, oh gosh, street names pieces. And then here, again, this is another one of those vintage letters. So dated this time 1881. And again, I just took a couple more pieces from my vintage document collection papers, printed them off, and then I've just stapled them onto that, which I love how that looks. It's just such a cool way to kind of just decorate up some vintage ephemera slightly. And then here I've again got just a little piece of vintage ephemera and a little mark there from the original rusted paperclip. So that just goes into here. I'm so sorry if you can hear the masking tape. Natalie is here and she's busy packing up orders. So yeah, I do apologise. So then in here, I've got another one of my printables from the, you know, digital from my vintage photographs. So that just tucks in like that. Lots of lace, lots of bling and pearly trim and things. So yeah, loads of lace and things all over this journal. And then on here, we've got, again, this is another pocket that we've made in a mass making. It's tucked, it's glued down like a tuck spot. So it's just like that. We can then tuck things in. In here, I've got another one of those pieces from the Victorian London, Streets of London kit. Collection papers, sorry. And again, I've used it like a pocket. I've taken some genuine vintage ephemera, tiny portion just from the top of a letter there, and that just tucks into here. And I left it hanging over because I thought that looked quite attractive. And then this is a tuck spot holding in some more vintage ephemera. So, you know, like I said, a ton of vintage ephemera in this journal. So it's, you know, really something to treasure, because obviously these are all one-off pieces, you know. And then here, some more vintage ephemera. It's just part of a, you know, vintage legal document. That just tucks in like that. One of my printables there. That just tucks in like that. Oh, and this blue paper is from my Gilded Blues kit. So yeah, very, very pretty. And then another one of those craft paper pieces, and that just goes in there. So I mean, like I say, those craft papers, they really are lovely, aren't they? And they just provide you with a really nice, easy piece of ephemera to put into journals. Then you've got 10 pages, which I left plain for journaling. So they've all got some stamped details, but aside from the stamping, they are all plain. They've just got the reinforced, you know, whole thingamybobs. But aside from that, they are plain. So that's that. Then this page, this is my favourite page in the whole journal. I'm just going to bring it up to the camera and show you guys. So isn't it just so yummy? Absolutely love it. Right, so it's a collage page. So the actual base of the page is from some collage masterboard. And then we have got lace trim. We've got some more lace down here. Again, this is a piece from my Victorian London, Streets of London kit. That just tucks in there. We've got some more pockets up here. This is some of my vintage ephemera digitals. And so is this. And again, I just formed a little pocket up there with, again, another little piece from that Victorian London collection papers. So, I mean, they just work, again, you know, brilliantly, because you can just cut them all down, and then you've got all different range of sizes, which is brilliant. One of those flowers, which, oh my goodness, how yummy does that look? I just love it. And then this is one of those coin envelopes. Now, I did a tutorial a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, with these coin envelopes, where we made them in a slightly different way to your more conventional way of making them. And we've mixed them with different papers for the flap and different papers for the, you know, the base piece. So isn't that just absolutely yummy, yummy, yummy? And then I just put an image from a vintage book there, which I have got the book page bundles in my on my website at the moment. So yeah, and I have got some of these books with the, you know, like historical paintings and things like that. So they're really nice to use as well. And then we've got some more vintage ephemera, which now I'm unable to pull it open. Oh my goodness, how have I tucked this in the first place? Oh, here we go. Right. So this is just a letter there from 1920, which is just lovely, isn't it? And yeah, it all just tucks in and then tucks in on itself, or it did, but I seem to be making a lot of fuss about getting it in there now. Oops. Like all these things, it worked perfectly on camera, and of course, as soon as you start filming, nothing seems to work quite right, does it? So that just goes in there like that. Okay, it's quite a snug fit, but it does go in. And then just my wraparound closure there. And then on the reverse of there, I've just put some book page, and then this gorgeous belly band. Again, that's some of my damask papers, some lace and things, and some flowers. And then here, this is an envelope from, you know, the Mulberry Handmade papers. I just quickly made an envelope there. It's got some genuine vintage ephemera, some sari silk, another piece from the Victorian London kit, and then, or collection papers, sorry. And then some more genuine vintage ephemera. 1901, well, hard to say, 1901 or 1911, I'm not sure which. But isn't that just gorgeous? So I love the scripty writing at the top and things. So yep, that's in there. And I think most of the pieces of vintage ephemera are plain on the back. So, you know, they are gorgeous to look at, but they're plain on the back, so you could journal on the back of them. Then on this page here, this is a bit more unusual because we've got here a wax seal with a closure, and the closure is wrapped around here on the other page. So just take your string and then it opens like that. So I just thought that was a bit quirky and a little bit different. So this is a pocket on this side. This is some vintage brick page. Isn't that just a stunning page? I don't know whether that's an empire butterfly or not, to be honest. I think there are butterflies called empire butterflies. It seems to be like ringing a bell, but I'm not sure. But I just found this from one of those craft papers, and I thought, oh, maybe that's an empire butterfly. I don't know. Please tell me in the comments. There might not even be such things, but I felt like there was. And then I just put in some vintage fly sheet there, and then just some tracing paper, which has been my William Morris papers printed onto that. So just a little sort of booklet, and that just goes into there. And then this one opens, and again, we've made these in the mass making. Again, this is with my damask papers. It's lined with my Regency papers, and then another one of those craft papers in there. Craft paper here, and then just stapled onto, again, some genuine vintage ephemera, which I just love. And that just then closes like that. And then on this side, we have got quite a few little bits and bobs. So we've got some vintage ephemera, we've got some vintage brick page, which again just is plain on the back, little library card, and then here a piece from a vintage book, which I just thought that was a lovely image. And it all just goes with this whole theme of this journal because it feels very Victorian to me. And then this gorgeous bundle of papers. So you get these types of things in my paper fillers, which I just love, and I have been using them more and more lately because yeah, I just really can't get enough of them. So this is kind of my damask papers, this is my decorative edge strips and things, and then just some of those craft papers again. And doesn't that just look scrumptious? Just stapled at the top, and then just a bit of lace across the top there. And then a postcard there from my Rose Park printables. So that just all tucks in there. So lots of journaling space on here because you've got lots of things tucked in. Turn this over, and this, like I say, closes around here. But before I close it up, we've got here some vintage ephemera, again, plain on the back for journaling. And then here we've got this gorgeous, so I think this was fly sheet, to be fair. And then this is an image from a vintage book. Again, another piece, I think from my documents collection. And then here we've got a belly band, a little postcard from my Little Beauties, Victorian Beauties printables. That just tucks in like that. And then that just goes round there. And then this one just wraps back around like that to hold that closed. And then this also is a pocket up here where we've got, again, another one of those images from the vintage book. Love that image so much. Again, plain on the back. So a ton of journaling space, you know, really a lot of journaling space in this journal. So that just goes into there. This is a pocket. I don't think I've tucked anything in there, but of course you could tuck something in there as well. On the facing page, we've got a little kind of coin envelope, and again, a piece from my Little Victorian Beauties printables, and one of my labels. That's from the Junk Journal Basics Set 2 printables. So yeah, that looks really scrumptious. And then that just tucks into here. The string that's tied around there is just for decorative purposes. It's not serving any, any function or anything like that. Sorry, now struggling to get this in here. Oh, again, it's just this thing of doing things on film. Of course, nothing goes quite how you plan. And then here it's a tuck spot. And again, I've got a fabric tag with a massive pocket on there, and then just a journal card tucked in. And then that's one of my vintage labels, and I've just glossy accented that, which I just love how that looks on there. It's so yummy, isn't it? And it's a massive tag. Some vintage ephemera there, some pieces from my documents kit. This also is another pocket. I haven't used it as one, but again, you could put something in there, and that's some vintage ephemera, that pocket. So again, quite scrumptious. A bow there from some lace, and then more lace trim, some pearly trim and things. And then going over the page, we have got, I mean, don't you just love the colour scheme of these damask papers. They look so rich and just, oh, lovely. And then here, again, some sari silk holding this closed. It's just a little kind of, you know, flap out piece. Bits and bobs going on here. This has been embossed with the Big Shot machine, and that just all closes like that. Just love how that looks, and it's just, you know, very simplistic, but, you know, very pretty, isn't it? And then I just put one of the file folder tabs at the top, and then tucked into the side, this is just some vintage book page, you know, image from some vintage book page, and then I've backed it onto some fly sheet. So, you know, it feels really nice. It's nice and vintage. Vintage document here in the background, and then a label there. And then here on this page, love how this page looks. And I have got a video where we did this page together. Again, it may not have gone up before the flip through, but it will be coming. So we've got this page again, got some of that lovely rich damask paper. This is the other section of that collage masterboard. So again, this is the back. And then we've got a huge piece, oops, of vintage ephemera here in the form of this ledger. Again, all plain on the back, so, you know, room for journaling. And then this gorgeous image from the Victorian Beauties again. And that all just tucks in. And then this typewriter, of course, is from my large images digital collection, which just, oh, love that so much. And then a butterfly. And then this is just from my French collection pieces. And I just thought that looked cute coming out of the typewriter. And then going over the page, so this is the inside of the back cover, and then this obviously is the rest of that collage masterboard. So again, I've used one of those kind of scrumptious, you know, little clustery pieces that, you know, I'm loving using lately. So that's got some vintage book page and things, and then it's also got this piece from my Rose Park kit, and this from my craft papers. Underneath, this is an image from a vintage book. Again, I did do this as a pocket, so you could put something in there. And then this here, again, another image from another, you know, one of those kind of famous paintings. This, again, is a pocket, so you could put another one in there. And then on this facing page, I thought I would tie it this way round this time instead of this way round, so just for a change. So sari silk, and again, open this up, you've got, you know, it's made with my damask papers, and then you've got some vintage ephemera. Now be careful, obviously, whoever's purchased this, because there is a vintage pin in there. The pin, you know, it was in there when I bought it, and I just thought it was lovely with the pin, so I left the pin in there, but do be careful. Some vintage ledger and kind of invoice type page, and again, it's plain on the back, so you could journal on the back of it, but love how that looks. So that just goes in there. This is my damask papers with my French collection. Don't they just look good together? And then here we've got more vintage ephemera, just this kind of header piece, and yeah, it just looks lovely, doesn't it? That goes in there, a little label and some lace, and then, yep, close this. This is some more vintage book page, and then there's just a butterfly from my coloured butterflies, and then this just ties back round like this. Like I said, I just thought it might be fun to have it tying round, you know, in a different direction. Some of that gorgeous embroidery on glaze stuff there, some lace and some pearly trim, and then this is also a tuck spot with another one of those gorgeous little clustery pieces. And, you know I just keep on saying it, but honestly, I just love, love, love making these and using these at the moment. They're probably my favourite thing to make and use. So yeah, one of those. And yeah, and then this is another pocket up here. So again, you could put something else in that pocket if you wanted. So it's a huge journal, and like I say, it's got tons and tons of journal space. Obviously, the beauty of a ring-bound journal is if you didn't like the, you know, the order that I've put the pages in or anything like that, you could take pages out and chop them around, you know, change them about, or, you know, add your own pages, add extra things, you know, whatever kind of, you know, takes your fancy. So yeah, I really hope that you like it. It's hugely chunky. But I had a great fun making it, and I really hope that the owner just absolutely loves it. So thank you so much for purchasing it. And yeah, I mean, do head over to my website because I've got lots of different items on there at the moment. You know, paper fillers and, you know, the lace packs and things like that, and the book page bundles and stuff, and some of the printed paper pads and things. Lots and lots of different things. I've got lace clusters and, yeah, lots of different things in there, and it's quite well stocked at the moment. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, everybody. I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you so much then. Bye.